Hi everybody, welcome back to another session about call API tag. Now in this one I'm going to show you about JSON filtering and JSON paths. Now don't worry if that's it doesn't mean anything to you. I'm sure it will do by the end of the session. Now just to recap, last time we made a simple maths category which uses call API to call the URL with whatever expression we want, and if you remember, it just gave us a nice straightforward number. Now, unfortunately, not every category, every API call is going to be as nice as that. And just to show you an example, let's say there's one here, population, exactly the same kind of thing as the maths one, apart from obviously the URL's different. We're going to this open data soft. Don't worry about this API key for now, it's just a way of authorizing ourselves, and I'll discuss that in the next session. So it's also looking for a country name, so like population of wherever, Spain, Canada, how many rows we want to bring back, so we'll just say 1. What are we querying? In this case it's this world population data set, and do we want to sort any results by the year? So let's try this and just see what happens. So if I open up a widget, we'll try population. Let's try, there's an example of, let's try France. Okay, what's the population of France? So what it's going to do, there we go, wow, look at all that lot. Meaningless, yeah? So unlike the nice API that we had for test, for maths, this one brings back a whole host of things. Okay, so let's, how can we sort of like manage that? Okay, what we need to do is to filter the results down a bit. Now, unless you're able to read this sort of thing, I personally use a site called jsonpathfinder.com. So what we need to put in there, pretty much as it says really, just paste in all the JSON that we've got there. Oops, we need to copy the... Yep, so we copy all that in, click on this beautify thing. Here we go, now the actual value we want for the population is here. Value, we're not bothered about all this lot. So how can we find that? Right, well, we can find the path by using this right-hand side panel. Okay, so it looks like what we want to see is under records. So we'll expand records. Okay, there's only one. So in our case, we want this fields. Yeah, country name from, here we go, value, and then whatever that is. Now, at the top here, it's showing us the path that we need to put in to find that data. Yeah, so it goes records, first record, fields, and then value. So what we need to put in here is what we've just typed in there. So to do that, what we need to do is to just put another parameter into our call API. So we have the URL, we have a query. Now, what do we want to filter it by? So to start with, we need filter. What are we filtering? We're filtering JSON paths. Yeah. So if we go back to our Pathfinder, we need to copy this spot. This is what we want to filter. In it goes. Now, the X is just a placeholder. We actually want it to say $, okay, which is just the start of the record. And we finish it off, as with all AML tags, with a closing filter tag. Yeah, so let's save that. And let's see what we get. So now if we try population France, let's see what we get. There we go, 669,87244. Now I don't know if that's correct or not, but that's what it says here, and that's what it's picked out. So yeah, so what we've done is we've just got the part of the JSON path that we need. So let's have a crazy one. Let's say I don't know, we want the year as in there. So if we wanted that, we just put in year. Now this won't make much sense, but hopefully it'll bring back 2018. So population France. I think. Oh no, I don't like that one. Ah, $. There we go. Learn by your mistakes. So population France again. There we go, 2018. Yeah, so that's how you can do that. So let's change that back, and then it makes it more sensible. Okay, now with some that's going to just filter you down to one record. Yeah. Now, if we wanted the value plus we wanted the country name or whatever or anything like that, we can't do that with just filtering, because we're only we're just filtering down to one record, one value. So all of this lot's just being ignored. So what we need to do is to look at something called JSON paths instead. It's not just for filtering, we need to have a look at the actual path itself. So I'll make a quick category and then we'll do that. Okay, right, here's the category. This time we're going to take a look at using the weather. So exactly the same as before, so weather and then the name of where you want to look up the weather. This open weather map will be the URL. It's expecting a parameter called Q, which is the name of wherever we're wanting to see the weather for. App ID, most of these APIs will require some kind of key to stop abuse. Again, don't worry too much about this at the moment. We're going to go through that later on. And in this case, it wants units, so you can have either metric or imperial, centigrade, Fahrenheit, that sort of thing. So let's try giving it a whirl. Let's try the weather in Leeds, which is near where I am. Okay, wow, okay. Does that make any sense to you? Well, it certainly doesn't to me, so let's copy all this up. Put it in our JSON Pathfinder again. With beautify. Right, so what are we looking for? The weather. Here we go. So the weather is there. Description, clear sky. Okay, so let's find that. So that looks like it's under weather and description. Yeah. So that's up there, weather description. Okay, so now we could just do the JSON filtering again to pick out that, but we want to find a few extra things as well about the weather in this one. So if I was just to filter it, all I would get is the clear sky part of the description. So I don't want to do that. So what I do want to do is to just pick out this description, right? So how can we do that? First of all, we're going to need to set this as a var. So instead of it just displaying to our screens, because that's just nonsense, you can say set var equals, and then we'll call it something like weather response. Okay, pop that on there. Right, now also we don't really want the user to see all that, so let's try something tags. Yeah. Okay. Now all that's going to do at the moment is just produce a var called weather response. What we actually need to do is to take a look at what's in there. So what we need to do is, if I just get one there, that's right. So we're going to need. Okay, so JSON path, right? So open tag JSON path. Now the path is the path as displayed by this thing. So copy that. Put that in there. It's $1. Okay, right. We've finished with the path. But what are we wanting to pick out? I mean, we've said, look, this is what we want to pick out, but it doesn't know, that we've set up this weather response. So what can do? Just put that in there. Close it off. Okay, right, so let's see if it works and then we'll explain it again. Right, so the weather in Leeds is clear sky, and that's correct. Yeah, it's a lovely day today. So let's take a look at how we've done it. So what we've picked out on this JSON Pathfinder is this path, the weather description. Yeah, now we've said, right, so JSON path comprises of the path, which is that, and the name of the variable. So it can either be a var or a name. I've chosen set var because you may know that the difference between set name and set var is names are they're permanent, whereas vars are removed once the category's been used. So they're a little bit more efficient, but it really doesn't matter. Okay, so it's saying look at the weather response, which was all this lot. Yeah, and the only bit I'm interested in is weather description. Display that back to the user. Yeah. Now, because we've used JSON path like that, what we can also do as well is to pick other things out as well. So let's try. So what else we got? So let's try this name at the bottom. So that's just going to be name. So we don't really need to copy that, do we? Okay, so name. Okay, right. So let's try that. Other leads. Yeah, leads, clear sky. Let's make it a bit neater. Okay, so yeah, so it's picked out two things. So the first path is that lot, which is the name. Second path is the description, which was the clear sky. Yeah. Now, what we can do as well with this one is it also has this icon here. Yeah. Now, what that does is it displays kind of like a weather picture. So let's try that as well. Yeah. So what we need to find is the actual icon. So we need to see where the icons start. So icon, and let's just make a break for it. We'll try weather leads. Right, leads, clear sky. Well, O1D, that's not a lot of use to us, is it? So what we need to do is to, I'll tell you what, let's just set that as the icon. And we'll display the actual image. So we can say, I'll still set name, let's mix and match them up a bit. Set name icon equals the icon. And then what we can do is on open weather you can actually display the icons, so I think that should do it. So we're saying open weather map w get name equals icon, which is there .png. So let's see if that works. So the weather in Leeds, here we go, look at that, Leeds, clear sky, and a nice picture of the sun. Yeah, now if we're just stuck with just a filter, as I say, we could have only brought out one of these things, or you could bring back, say, weather and then do JSON path on there. But, you know, to me, I'd rather just do JSON path on the whole lot, assuming it's not massive. But yeah, you can obviously mix and match them. So that's how to use JSON paths and JSON filters. Hope that makes sense. What we're going to do in the next session is I'll go a bit further into these app IDs. The API keys, because we don't really want people, you know, seeing our keys in our YAML files. So there's a few ways we can hide them, but we'll save that for the next session. Hope that makes sense. Keep practicing. I mean, all this JSON path stuff was new to me as well, but you know, this website's, you know, it's really, really useful. jsonpathfinder.com. I'll leave a link to it in the comments. Okay, that's it for now. See you in the next one.